All right, guys, welcome to our training tonight. I'm super excited. We have 3 people that we are going to interview. I'm going to start with Kara because you're the first person I see. And we're going to be going over like steps to success, and really this is just going to be a lot of enrolling customers and distributors and how do you do it, okay? So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to just tell us what are your daily tasks. There you go. So you should be able to unmute yourself.
Well, my daily tasks aren't the same every single day because I have kids, for one, but basically I just get up in the morning and, at first I wasn't really doing anything to like build myself up and give myself confidence. So I really just started listening to worship music every morning. That's what I do for like the positive affirmations, and I can't even think of what y'all even say now. Y'all say it every time, and I can't think of it.
Personal development.
Yes, every time. But every morning I listen to worship music, and then I've been trying to listen to some podcasts here and there, but it's like I'll pause it and then listen to it for a little bit later because my kids interrupt all the time. But the worship music is the main thing that really gets me going in the morning because it really just helps me remember why I'm doing it. And then obviously my kids do. But basically, I'll just try to interact with people in the mornings because that's when my kids aren't awake yet. And so I'll wake up about an hour before they do, and I'll just hop on Facebook and try to just interact with some posts from the night before or send friend requests, but don't do too many at a time. And then, hey, Allison. And then obviously I do my follow-ups like in the middle of the day, and I try to do some different polls, not necessarily just about products, but just trying to get people to interact with my posts since I am kind of newer into it. I don't want it to be just about the business, and I just post interactive stuff throughout the day about random things about your kids or anything like that. But yeah.
Okay, so what about like messaging and adding people? Do you make sure that you get that in every day too, or is your majority just interaction?
I try to message people mostly like during the morning and at night because during the day it's kind of hectic. So I'll try to do my messaging in the morning at night. Unless somebody messages me throughout the day, then obviously I try to respond to them. But I normally do like my checkups with all of my customers, and if anybody has messaged me or if I see that people have responded on my polls, then I'll try to message them. And then the friend request, I do that periodically throughout the day whenever I get breaks, just randomly. If I hop on my phone, I'll just send out a few friend requests. But I also have found that I've joined like some mom groups because obviously I'm a mom, but there's plenty of things you can join, like painting or sculpting, whatever you're into, shooting, sports. And I joined some groups and I just posted like interactive posts on there, like, hey, these are my kids, this is what I do. I don't even post about like just staying home and working from home. Like, do you need some more friends? And so many people will comment on that. And so many people will just randomly friend request you just for posting on there. So that has gotten a lot of people to just friend request me instead of me having to send out friend requests to everybody and then, getting put in Facebook jail or something. So that has helped me.
I don't know anybody who's ever been put in Facebook jail, but I bet it's not fun. Anyway, okay, so you do a lot of interaction. Tell me about your how you're actually getting loyal customers from that.
Well, a lot of them have come from a lot of my host to post actually, and which obviously that's the big thing this month is to get one up or get like 5-10 up a day at least. But most of my customers are actually random people that I've never even met. My family, my dad was the first one to sign for me, but none of my family has signed until just like this past week. So most of my customers are just random people from host to post. I had my mom put up a host to post for me though, and like a ton of her friends have signed as customers or their potentials, and that's great. But also the polls are a big thing because I had this one girl that I went to high school with, and she has accidentally, voted on like 10 of my polls. And she would always be like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to vote on that. And then she just bought some like $150 worth of stuff last week. So eventually it turns into a customer because she messaged me. She's like, I actually meant to vote on this. I'm totally ready to buy it. I work at a coffee shop. I'm ready to try it. So just keep being consistent and it'll eventually pay off.
Awesome. So are you doing host to post? Are you messaging for customers? Did I miss that? Sorry.
What I do the host to post like the giveaway stuff, but I also will message like a lot of my family and just be like, hey, can you do a favor for me and post this for me? Or people that I feel like would do it. I haven't branched out and messaged just random people, but this month that's gonna happen. So
Well, it is Momentum Mayman, so it only makes sense that you would be branching out. But I'm really proud of you for doing that because it can definitely be really scary. Okay, so what about finding distributors? What are you doing to grow your team?
well, I definitely took advantage of whenever it was 50% off. That's like the best time to try to get somebody to sign because obviously it's 50% off. And I always just try to remind them, like, hey, you know, you can easily turn around and sell these samples and I will help you sell them. If I have somebody that's interested in samples, sometimes I'll try to send them their way. That way they feel like, oh, I'm getting a customer, you know, if I don't need it, which I'd rather help out my team if I can at all. And then I just tell them how far I've gotten, even though I haven't been in it that long. I mean, I just felt, hey, I've gotten gas money. And like Maria said that she got, like, she paid her daughter's daycare with the sample money for like 2 weeks in a row. So just tell them about that. And it doesn't always have to be about the money. Like, I've told them about all the friendships I've gotten out of it and just expanding my network. I've made friendships. Oh, she said a full month. Wow, that's even better. I've just made friendships just from expanding my network, not necessarily people that are a part of this, but that and all the support, because honestly, from my family, I don't have that much support right now. So it comes in handy. And a lot of people are looking for just some friendships too. So I just try to tell them about all the positive things that they could get out of it.
That's really awesome. It's really nice that you mentioned, something that's not like I bought a brand new car in cash. Like that's not relatable for people anyway. They don't understand. And you're right. So many people do this because they want friends, or that's one of their reasons not to do it, is because they don't have many friends. Like I know that was one of mine. So being on here and seeing all of these people, and most of them I have a friendship with, and if not yet, I'm building one, just like me and you, we are new to a friendship, but it's definitely being built. And so I love that you're talking about that, because I think a lot of people forget to mention the friendship, and we're all about friendship, fun, and freedom. So I'm glad you said that too. Okay, my last question for you is, what about your follow-ups? How are you keeping track of them? Is there like a system to your follow-up? Because from what I'm hearing is you're pretty consistent with staying on track with enrollments and like hitting steps to success and towards that, so I'm just curious, what is it that you're doing to make that possible?
Well, I have a list wrote out, but it's really unorganized. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I have got to get a printer so I can like print out all these trackers because I totally need them. I'm normally super organized, but with having a newborn and a toddler, it just kind of hasn't happened. So I always just put like in my calendar the little reminders, so it'll send me an alert like, hey, check up on this person on like 2 days from now, and then follow up 2 weeks. I normally do like the 2 days, the 2 weeks, and then a month, unless they're like, hey, I get paid on May 15th, then I'm messaging them on May 15th. Like I out for a girl today and she ended up buying the pick two, and she did it twice instead of just doing one. So it pays off definitely. Now there's some people that they don't ever like say anything to me. So I'll just like message them back in like a few hours. If they say like, I'm really interested in it, and I'll tell them about the prices and everything, but I don't get a response. So then I'll message them in a few hours, and then they're like, oh, sorry, I just got busy, or I didn't see your message. And then it always pays off, it seems like. So don't just like leave them hanging, because then you might lose them as a customer, and then they might feel like you're not like paying attention to them, or you forgot about them or something like that. So definitely the reminders in your phone is my biggest thing. Like, I'm going to be honest. I'm not very organized on paper yet, but I'm getting there.
I love it. It took me 2 years and 10 months to start getting organized. So you're ahead of the game. Thank you so much for being on here. I appreciate it. We're going to learn so much more from you. I have no doubt we're definitely going to be having you back. So be thinking about some things that you just can talk about for 10 minutes now that you're a pro and You've been interviewed. You're ready to take it away. You'll be leading next week, right?
You're funny.
I know. Okay. I'm so thankful for you. Thank you for being on here. Okay, let's go ahead and go to Corgan. Corgan, I am super excited to talk to you. You and I have so much in common, and I relate to you on a level that most people here aren't going to even begin to understand. So I'm so thankful that you're here. So excited to talk to you. You guys, if you are on this Zoom right now, and you could show your face, that would be really awesome. You guys are going to learn more if you're actually participating. It's different if you actually can't, I understand, but we only have about 15 to 20 more minutes of this Zoom, so work can wait. I think it'd be really important. Corgan, take it away. Tell us, oh, I have to ask you a question. I want you to start with your story. We normally don't start with stories, but that's what I want you to talk about is your story. So if you would just give us 1 to 2 minutes of your story, that'd be great.
So when I started this business, I was actually homeless in a shelter with my 1-year-old and my fiance, and I was pregnant with my 3-month-old now. And I was going on maternity leave, and I was working at Dollar Tree, and I just was not making enough, and I did not want to stop working. So I did a post for Christy, and I didn't realize I had Christy on Facebook for 3 years, and I've been watching her for 3 years without even realizing it. And then she asked me about the business, and I kind of was like, oh yeah, I thought about it, just kind of had her hanging for a little bit. And then I kind of messaged her, she messaged me, and I was like, yeah, I'm ready. Because I had just got my check, it was $200, and I was like, I just want to join. I just need to do this. God said it was time for me to start.
Sorry, I had to find the unmute button. Oh my gosh, I love it. It just goes to show that it doesn't matter what your life situation is like. If you want this bad enough, you will figure out a way, no matter what it is. And I love that you're embracing your story, because so many people say, oh, I don't have a story. Everybody has a story. It's just a matter of you deciding your story is enough to be told. And you do that so well. I want you to talk about how you use your story when you're talking to people. Start with how you're using it to talk to distributors, because that's where that's really going to be most relatable for people.
Well, I have a few scripts made up, and I kind of, when I'm talking to distributors, they're not random. I've kind of interacted with them for a little bit, and then I message them about the business, or they came to me, and I go ahead and tell them, like, this is how I started the business, this is where I was at, and then I kind of just go from there, and I kind of ask them why they wanted to join or why they were interested in joining. Just, I want to know their whys and their stories, and to see if they relate to me or if I can help them in a better way, because there's a lot of people that want this business, and they're just either too scared or just don't know if it's for them. And I didn't think it was for me either, and I was like, I just did it. I prayed on it, and I just kind of tell them, I try to root them on and then kind of empower them even if they don't join me.
That's amazing. Sorry, I have to do something real quick because this is driving me nuts. Okay, there we go. That's better. We'll see how long it takes to figure it out. Okay, so you are doing something that's really important. You are finding the people that you relate to instead of just going after anyone and everyone. And I think that that's really important. People don't understand. You don't have to sign just everybody you see. You can make sure that you're finding people that are going to be relatable to you so that you can focus on them and understand why they're doing this, because we all know our why is the most important thing when it comes to doing this business. Because if you're not ready and you're not ready to stand strong at why, then when somebody says no, it's just going to knock you right down. So I love that. Okay, tell us about your daily tasks and how you're staying consistent even when you were in the shelter and when you're not now, because you're not anymore. That's right. Important to know. You're not there anymore. And you're growing in your business, which is so exciting. Anyway, so I want you to tell us what are you doing daily, and how were you and how are you fitting it into your life?
So what I do daily is I wake up every morning at 6 with my fiance when he gets up for work, because my kids get up around 7 or 8. And then, so I go ahead and do my personal development. I exercise and I meditate, and then I'll pray and read my Bible. I try to kind of fit that in about an hour, and then I go straight to my power hours. I do my happy birthdays, my friend requests on Instagram and my Facebook, and then I go and follow up with my host to post. It's 6 a.m. in the morning, but they look at my messages at 6 or at 12, whenever they look at them. And then I go ahead and I'll write down my follow-ups, who I need to follow up with, who I had talked to before. And then I go ahead, and just kind of do that consistently throughout the day.
We love babies here. Embrace it. It's fine. Okay, so first of all, I want you guys to see that she takes care of her first. So many of you, especially when you're new, it's easy to get stuck in the, what am I supposed to do to make the money? You guys, you have to take care of you first. Just like as a parent or a spouse or a friend, if you're not taking care of yourself first, then your business, your relationships, whatever, will never be at the best that they can be. So please take care of yourself first. I'm really glad you talked about that. If anybody who's ever talked to me knows that I preach about self-development like a crazy person. That just spit on myself, it's fine. Like a crazy person, so I'm really glad that you mentioned that. And then talk about how you're fitting it into your life, your tasks as far as for your business. Are you like sitting down and doing all of it at once? Or are you like doing them throughout the day, all day? How is it different now versus then? I want you to go into detail about that for at least another minute or two.
Okay, when I was in the shelter, I would constantly sit at the table when I was on maternity leave, and I would work and do as much as I could just because I needed to get in the flow of things. I needed to know how things went, and I always was asking questions. That was the main thing I was always doing. I always asked questions because it never hurts to go up to your upline or your team and ask questions because, I mean, you're new, you're not going to know what to do right away, and we're always going to be here to help. And then now I kind of got in a flow and made my I managed my time better, and now I do like a lot throughout the morning around 6 to 7:30, and then I kind of split it up throughout the day while I'm like feeding my kids or going taking them outside. So I just kind of split it up now. So it's a lot easier for me being in my own place now than being in the shelter.
I agree. It's always hard when you're not in your own place. And I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. And your story it's going to save somebody's life one day. I know it will. So keep sharing it, keep embracing it, and everybody show some love for her. Show some love for Kara too. Sorry, Kara, I forgot to show love to you because I just am not that great at this yet. But show some love to them, you guys, because both of them are new. Both of them were nervous and excited to be here, and they both killed it. All right, it's time for T-Bolt. Yes, I'm so excited. Y'all, this girl, okay, so I messaged Susan. I said, we need somebody who is like, doing really well. Who do we need to interview? And she said, Taylor's killing it. So, Taylor, we're going to talk all about loyal customers because from what I hear, you're pretty good at that. Tell us about your loyal customer enrollments first. I like to focus on what people are doing instead of what they've done, but this is really important for the people who are about to listen to you. Tell us where you're at with loyal customers and how much of a BA you have been with your customer enrollments.
So I went Ruby in 2 months. It was a crazy 2 months. For those of you, none of you know my story, but I was in It Works before 2 years ago. And the team that I was on, not to put down anybody, but it just wasn't the atmosphere that I was looking for. It was a very aggressive, and my upline was very aggressive to me. And it just, to me, it wasn't personable. It wasn't real. It didn't make me feel like I was helping anybody. So I steered away from that and I got out of it. Well, I, of course, still followed so many people that were still with It Works. And Susan came along and messaged me, and I told her, it didn't work out for me before. Although my distributor enrollments were way higher before than they are now. However, we're going on about it. But my loyal customers, I definitely am killing it right now. It's been super fun getting to talk to the people that I'm getting to talk to and reach out and help people, and to see the positive feedback come back from the products that we have are absolutely amazing. And it's a blessing to see that people are enjoying them as much as I do. You know, I'm not getting anybody that's saying that they aren't enjoying them or it didn't work for them. Everybody's saying that it's working for them right now. And that's the one thing that I love the most. I love to be able to share. I don't like to promote. I don't like to sell. I love to share. I love to share what I have because I'm so passionate about what we have. So it's so much easier to promote in a positive way to people in order to share what we have because we love it, right? So I think that's what makes the biggest difference, is that when people see that you are passionate and love something, they take it in so much better than I'm saying I'm trying to sell you something. I'm not trying to sell you 3 products or 2 products right now. I'm sharing with you 2 of them or 3 of them that I think are going to work for you because they've worked for me or I've tried them. So that's kind of where I'm at. But how I'm getting them is, a lot of them are just, I'm a professional bowler, so I have a huge following of like athletes. So with us being quarantined right now, the athletes are sitting at home and they're all asking me what I'm doing to be able to stay healthy and to stay together. So I'm able to share what we had based on that. So this crisis came at a time where what we have is what people need, right? It's not the ideal situation for our business to go booming because people are staying home because of this reason, but so many people don't want to go out and get coffee anymore. So we have what you need that ships right to your door. So it's kind of like a blessing in disguise per se for this to happen at the time that it does. So sorry, I kind of forgot what you wanted me to answer there.
You're good. I just got a notification that I signed a customer for 3 products, so I got distracted. I'm really sorry. Okay, so all right, first of all, I just have to tell you that I'm basically a professional bowler too, because I almost bowled a 250 in high school. So one
that
time.
That is professional there.
No, I'm just kidding. Okay, I really did almost bowl a 250, but I'm definitely nowhere near professional as one time, and it was totally Jesus. He said, curve the ball this way, bro. Okay, back to what we're doing. Okay, so what if somebody is brand new, because I have a brand new girl on here who literally joined last night and already signed a distributor. I'm curious to know, for somebody who's never tried the product, you're talking about being passionate about the product. How can they be passionate if they've not tried it yet?
So the testimonies are a good way to look at that, right? There are so many people that are posting online about their personal results, or, you know, Joel and Stephanie Dunn are 2 of them who I follow so in depth, just because I love of all their testimonies that they post wherever they get them from, right? So if you haven't tried them yet, you kind of have to believe in what you're getting yourself into. So you wouldn't have joined this business if you didn't believe it was something good. You wouldn't have gotten that feeling, whether it was from within or God didn't send this to you for a reason, if he didn't want you to be involved in it, right? So you said yes for a reason. You said yes because somewhere deep down inside of you, you believe that this is what it is. It works, right? The name says itself. And so you kind of just have to do not your research, but follow the right people, right? Even if they're not on your team. I'm following some people that aren't, but they have testimonies that I don't get to see, you know? So all teams have all kinds of testimonies, and you have to believe that. They wouldn't be submitted to It Works if they weren't buying the product or if they weren't approved. They wouldn't be put on the stamp cards and all that stuff like that. So you kind of have to take that leap of faith and put your whole heart into it. So when I started 2 years ago, I didn't have any of the products, but I signed 6 loyal customers in 2 weeks before I even got to try any of my stuff. And that all came from some of our scripts that we have. And it was weird to me that nobody asked me if I liked them. I wasn't going to lie to them, but nobody even asked me. So I was just sharing what I had, the products that we have, and the testimonies that I have, in order to say that this is what I have to show you, right? Some people saw me losing the weight like 2 months in, and that's when they came asking me, like, what are you doing? Like, it's unbelievable. When they saw me at a tournament 6 months later, they're like, what have you been up to? And that's when I got to share that. So, but you have to take faith in what the testimonies show, and start asking people for their testimonies, right? Start asking for their before and after pictures, and tell them that's what you want. when you're signing them as a loyal customer, I always tell them, please take a before and after picture, even if you don't want to share it for me. If you do, great. If not, please take one just to show yourself that you are not going to be able to see it overnight. A lot of people think that our Thermify X, our Thermify XX now is going to just be like, I'm going to eat pizza, cake, and cookies all night long, and it's just going to fall off. That's not how it's going to happen, right? So it's not a magic pill. There's something that has to go along with it. So I'm fully honest with my loyal customers when I do go ahead and, latch on to them and tell them what I have and share what I got. So it's really important just to show them the results. If you're talking to a loyal customer about coffee, show results. Send them the photo. Send them the testimony. If you don't have one, message your group and get one and save it and love it in your phone so that way it saves somewhere fast. Because people love to see results. If they don't see them, they're like, well, I'm just going to read these words and you're going to sell me on this. Show them why it works. Show them why people love it and how fast that happened for them. So I think that's very important.
Thank you so much. I love that. I couldn't agree with you more because everything you said is true, and I don't even need to address it anymore because it's all true. Okay. So tell us, this is like, I'm going to encompass everything together. Yes, Kara. I want to know, how are you finding customers? Are you upselling? And if they don't sign on the spot, how are you doing your follow-ups?
Okay, so tell me the first question again. How am I getting my customers? Where am I getting them?
Yeah, how are you finding them? Like, what is it that you're doing to find customers?
So if you guys look, I use eSuite like it's like my life. So they have all of those printable versions of like your 100s list. So like I have this binder full of stuff, if you guys can see like all this, and I use this to like my advantage, right? So my 100s list, which is in my office, is full of people that I think could use this. So I basically just go through my friends list and I see like some old friends and I'll start there. I didn't start with my family first, just because I wanted to talk to people first. I only wanted to use my family if I was like going for a promotion. I'm like, Mom, you got to do this, in order to help me out, whatever reason. But they are on the coffee and they love it now. So regardless, my mom wanted to try it because she saw how much I loved it. But I go through my friends list, but a lot of them come from me posting about like Thermify X. That's where my big boom came from. When I posted about that 2 months ago, I signed like 10 people in 2 weeks. Over just that by posting.
Share your post. What did you say, or a general idea?
It was who would take 2 pills a day, 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, and lose 30 pounds in 90 days. And asterisks put clinically proven. And then in the comments, the first 4 comments were me posting those testimonies, those 4 pictures, and people were like, wow, I saw that girl on there on your comments. So like, she looks great. Yeah, let me show you what she took, what she did. So my customers are basically coming from me posting. I haven't really gone cold messaging too much yet. I actually only today sent out like 50. And I'm talking to a few people, but I know it's only 50, but I usually don't cold message. Today I did. I went on Instagram and followed a group.
50 is a lot more than a lot of people are doing.
Wait, say that again.
It's not only 50, 50 is good.
Hold on, it cut out, so I couldn't hear you.
I said it's not only 50, 50 is good.
Oh, yes, thank you. Yeah. So today was the first day that I did that. So I'm talking to about like 10 potential people, which is great. So right now I need to sign some distributors in order to fill them and get them excited too. But so cold messaging wasn't really my thing before, didn't really work out for me. So I'm only going to start doing that now, but more so actually looking at profiles, not just cold messaging like random people who possibly could be with It Works, because that's happened before, right? You message them and they're like, oh, I already am. So like you have to take the time to look at their profile and know what's up, because some of them get like freaked out at like, who's this random girl like messaging me about these products that I want nothing to do with, if you don't look at their profile. If they're not into something like coffee loving or what when their top profile says it, or their pictures, if they're like a mom or something like that, that's who I will initially start talking to. But my customers right now are purely coming from my friends list, and I'm blessed enough to have a kind of a huge following being a professional bowler. So that's kind of where that has gone. The second question was,
upselling? Do you ever upsell, and your follow-ups?
Upselling is, I do. Most of the time it's going to come from adding the greens. The greens are so easy to pair with the coffee. So a lot of my upsell comes with like Skinny Brew and adding the greens. Right now, before with the BOGO, it was super easy to sell like my already enrolled customers on getting another bag. They love the coffee so much. I'm like, now's the time to get 2 or 4 for the price of the 1. So upselling is not a huge thing for me. However, with the greens it is. So right now my magic has come from pairing the coffee with the greens, just because I've seen it, I've done it, I loved it. So it was so much easier to be shareable with people. And my follow-ups right now, the no true statement is fortune is in the follow-up, right? Like that is such a true statement. And if you don't follow up, you're missing out on so many people. So a lot of my to go Ruby, I actually followed up with 5 people that I messaged 2 months prior that didn't answer me and ignored me for 4 messages. And I'm like, girl, this is what's up. Like, this is BOGO right now. If you ever wanted to try it, now's the chance. You're going to get a whole month supply. So I just use my phone, and a lot of girls are like, oh, I get paid on Friday. I'm like, hey, Friday, what Friday? Tell me the date. What time is best for you? Do you have a lunch break that you want me to message you on? You know, and I'll put it in my phone in my calendar so that it reminds me and tells me like, hey, it's 12 o'clock, follow up with Haley. And I'm like, okay, got to get to Haley that day. So follow-ups are super, super important. And that's where a lot of my loyal customers have came from to go Ruby in the 2 months, because following up is huge. If I don't, then they ignore your message and they'll never see it again. Like they don't come back to you. And a lot of people are busy just like we are, right? Like they have lives and they forget and they get busy, and then our message goes way to the bottom if they have people messaging. And more so now with Facebook Marketplace, everybody's on it right now buying things from home. So like some of my messages have shot to the bottom because I'm on there like buying all kinds of stuff for my house. And so I'm like, oh wait, so I can only imagine that's happening to other people, right? So I have to remind myself to do that. And at night, I'll scroll through my messages, all from the date, showing like, who did I talk to today? And let me make sure that I follow up with them. Not too late, just because some of them, like, if they go to bed, I don't want to be pushy, right? That's the one thing that people don't like. That's what I didn't like about my last team. I don't want to be crazy pushy. I want to be personable. I want to be real with them. So if they don't answer me and I message them like 4 times, I'll kind of wait 2 days. And I'll be like, hey girl, thinking about you. Like, we still have this great deal going on. I just wanted to let you know, wanted to just give you a reminder because I don't want you to miss this chance. So, get back to me when you can. And that's where a couple of them came from right before month end.
I love that. I love that you are so focused on being kind and sweet, because like you said, that's what people relate to. They have to know, trust, and like you. And in order for that to happen, you have to be personable with people.
Right.
And I just love that. I'm super excited. You have me on fire. I'm like, all right, I need to go message everybody and be more personable, because I'm very red. So
some people, there was this one girl that was like, I'm sure you just copy and paste this message. And I was like, oh shoot, like too fast, like sometimes when they do that, or if you say like, hey, can I send you more info? And they're like, yeah, give them like 4 minutes. Like, don't even send the script yet. Like, give it some time before you copy and paste that script so they know that it's real. And some of the scripts I'll change, or I won't send something so long. Like I'll break it up, put emojis in the middle. That way it like breaks up all the information in their head. Because you don't want to make it feel like you're sending that message to everybody, even though it's so much easier, right? But sometimes I'll just take the time to actually go through it and even add like some things in the end that her and I just talked about. Like sometimes people ask me about bowling, I'll put it in there somewhere like, yeah, when I'm practicing, I take my Skinny Brew with me because it's so easy, whatever. But just be genuine. That's what captured so many people that I've enrolled the last 2 months, is just being so real.
That's amazing. Yeah. And see, here's where my red shows, because if they're like, you just copy and paste this, I'm like, yes, I do. However, here's the deal. I wouldn't even be messaging you if I didn't believe in it. So How about that discount? Thank you so much. I definitely am going to suggest that we get you on a Monday night training so that we can hear more from you. Maybe Cassie can like interview you. Wow, I can't talk. Interview you on a Monday night training, because I can tell that you are going to go far and you've got a lot more to teach us about enrolling customers and just being a really good distributor who cares about people. I love it. Thank you guys so much. That's going to wrap us up. Thank you for staying, even though we went 8 minutes over. I do apologize. I try to keep it under 30 minutes, but it's really important that we hear everything and see all the dog butts because they're just adorable, right? Like, I am super excited. We have Monday night training on the team page. We have Wednesday and Friday again. Next week we'll be here. Me and a couple other leaders will be staying on this specific Zoom for the next hour or so to just do a work Zoom. So if y'all want to stay, feel free.